everyone, if you remember in your assignment 1, you created a strategic framework for an organization of your choice. Now here, you're going to work on the cost-benefit analysis of the framework that you have proposed. But we're going to change the setting a little bit. So the scenario that has been given to you is for a startup right now, but the framework is the same. So you have hardware, software, network, and the data, and there are costs and benefits associated with those items on your framework. And as you put together these numbers, they're going to help you prepare for your CIO job talk later during the semester on week 5. So you have some ideas, you're going to present your ideas and their concepts, and then you're going to justify them by some number crunching. As you know, this is a 495 cash flow analysis homework. You're going to make a copy of it with your name, last initial, underscore the assignment name. The first use, this is our cash flow analysis template. We have the current year and the subsequent year. So I am proposing a 3-year framework, and there is some setup work in the current year. The discount rate is the rate at which the money loses value. For me is 0.1. You can choose to work with a different number. The discount factor is that compounded discount rate. So the formula is 1 over 1 plus your discount rate to the power of the number of years, which I have to put 0 here. So to make that happen, we have to change that to 0. So we get current year is year 0. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you see the numbers a little bit bigger. So 1 over 1 plus your discount rate to the power of the number of years. As you notice, I just changed the number of years from current to 0, so it works. So $1 earned or spent today is worth $1 today. You drag the formula to the right, the numbers change. $1 earned or spent in year 3 is worth much less today, and that's 75 cents. We're going to use this number again in all calculations. When we say cash flow analysis, we're going to convert all the money earned or spent in the future to today's value of the money, and then we're gonna use those numbers to justify our ideas based on projection of what happens in the future. So value of benefits, this should be value of benefits. This should be value of benefits, so I'll change that for you. Value of benefits, I'm going to say there are no benefits for my framework during the first year, and then I'm going to get $40 million. Maybe if it's a startup, we can propose a smaller number. Depends on the type of the startup. So you can choose the number based on the startup idea that you have in mind. So I'm going to have 40, 50, and 50. These are the benefits I get. Development cost, I'm going to spend about $42 million in the current year. Maybe a little bit the next year if the development continues during the next year. But if it doesn't continue, it will be 0. Development cost or setup cost or one-time costs are the ones that you incur just once. And then there is operating costs. So keeping up your network, keeping up your data center, keeping up your hardware, your licenses. These are going to cost money. So we're going to put the operating cost little for the first year because probably it's supported. Some of the things, the equipment are still new, or you may get some initial offers that make it smaller for you to keep up the system for the first year or the current year, and then it goes up a little bit after that. Maybe it becomes 18 on the 3rd year. These are $1 million for me, and then it seems that this one is not $1. So let's see where is format here. Somewhere here we can say it's dollar here. This is dollar. Everything should be dollars. Discount factor. Okay, my rows are messed up a little bit. I'll fix that for your template. So first thing I want to get is net benefit and cost. So I'm gonna put that here, and I'm gonna do that with you. Net benefit and cost. Net benefit cost, meaning that I put together all the benefits and costs, and then I calculate how much is the total. So positives and negatives together, how much is the total. So this is going to be present value. Then it says PV is present value of a net benefit and cost, net BC. So I think that's all, and then I need a cumulative here. Insert above. I'm going to make sure you get these cumulative NPV for your net present value for your template. So PV of net BC, or we call it NPV, net present value. So let me put that in parentheses. So NPV here is net benefit and cost. Here is putting the three numbers together. So I'm going to do a sum of the three numbers I have, and I'm going to drag it to the right. The formula is applied to the other cells. So these are the values, again making sure everything is dollar. Present value, when I want to get the present value of some value that I have to multiply the value by the discount factor. So this is a very important piece of our calculation. Discount factor helps us understand money in terms of their today value. So I'm going to put the formula. I'm going to get the net benefit and cost, multiply it by the discount factor, and obviously for the first year it's the same value because you haven't lost any value. So for the subsequent years excuse me, so you see the numbers are smaller, because when you have 68 as your net value for year 3, it's worth less today. How much worth? Is $51 million only. I'm going to do a cumulative for each year. I add years up to and including that year. But year 0, there is no year before it. So I just get that cell. For the next one, I get what I had up to that year. I add what I had left, the net BC for the year itself. And then this goes to the right. Oh, class, one thing I think I didn't specify, that this was minus 42, minus 42. So the numbers change slightly. So then the development cost is negative, and these ones are all negative. So we used to work on Excel, but because not everybody has Excel, we're moving to Google Sheets, and it's a little bit of the formatting and a little bit of tweaks here or there. I have to just remind myself. So the numbers and the way they are formatted, these numbers are negative. Okay, they are the numbers that are shown in parentheses. If we want to change the formatting itself, that usually in accounting pages they have the formatting so that we can see if the number is positive or negative. So you put the you select them, you go to this formatting, more formats, and you get financial or accounting. I'm going to get the accounting. So all of the numbers, negative and positive, you can now see. So this is going to be the value, the cumulative NPV, cumulative net present value at the end of your time frame, is what you would present to the investors. Or when you do your CIO talk, this is the number that you're going to say, what I want in terms of hardware, software, data, and network. Also, you could add people. These are the things in my framework, and these are the costs and benefits associated with them over the 3 years. This is how much we're gonna make, and that's positive $21.69 million. So for this is the valuation, so you just put that number here. It's your valuation, the value of your ideas. Again, for the formatting, if you wanted to make everything in a uniform, we can just pick the accounting formatting, and this is positive. So break-even point, when the project starts to pay for itself. So when you start a new strategic framework to implement it, it will be costly for a while, and then it starts to be positive. For your framework could be different here, but for mine it's in year 3 that it starts to be positive. Up until here they're all negative numbers, so I have to know when exactly after year 2 when exactly this one hits the 0, because it's a very large positive number, but at some point it hits 0. When is it that it hits 0? So that's the break-even point. I'm gonna create a box here, and I want you to create a similar box on your worksheet. So I'm gonna color it. I'm gonna say from year 3 I started with this number, this negative number. Yes, I start year 3 and this is the number. Yes, that's positive. Yes. So, and I'm going to put another box down here, and I'm going to call it color it so we know where it is. So we're going to say total change over a year, over the year, total change in terms of dollar value is, let me just send this over to the next line so you see it. Total change is the difference between these two numbers, which is the difference between this number and this number, which is actually your NPV for year 3. So that's the difference. You get this number, you add this number to it, you get this. So total change over the year is this number, and then you want to know when you hit 0. So you go from minus $2.35 million over a year, which is 365 days. And you want to say how many days it took to make how much money? This number. So this number, which is going to be the positive $2.35 million. How long did it take you to get that? And that's going to be your break-even point. So this is how we get it. You multiply 365 by this number and divide it by this number, and that's high school number crunching. So I'm gonna multiply 35, which I should put here to use it because I have now written as words, or maybe I could just write it here. So 35 times, which is here 35 times this number divided by this number. That's 35 days. So the break-even point, and this is not dollars, so the break-even point is 2 years and 35 days. It's not dollars, so we have to change just to a number. So this is going to be 2 years plus 35 days. Okay, this is after implementation of your strategic framework. For return on investment, I need to get present value of operating cost. For present value of operating cost, I get the operating cost multiplied by the discount factor and drag this one to the right. I get a total of present value of operating cost because I want to know over years how much I will end up spending on my operations, and these are information systems operations. That's the total. For return on investment, I'm going to put the absolute value. I don't need the negative numbers. So absolute value of the two costs, this cost, plus a total, or I need a total of operating, total of development cost, plus that one, divided by the money that I have at the end. So that's what is left for the organization after they implement your framework. So that's it, but I don't have this one set yet. So doing a sum here, as you can see, I really didn't need a sum because I only have one number, the rest are 0. But we want to make our template more general, so we do the sum and we use the sum. And this is 4.3. we're gonna make it percentage. We're gonna remove the dollar percentage. It shouldn't be that high, so let's see. Or we do the opposite. We get the value. We get the value that we have left. Let's do this again. I did the fraction the opposite. So we get this value that is left and that one divided by the absolute value of the two costs. So I did my numerator and denominator in opposite locations. So this is 23%, which is really good based on these numbers. And you can change that decimal point up there. So I have the 3-year return on investment. I have the value of my idea, and I have the break-even point, which is 2 years and 35 days. I want you to do the same. I'm gonna change a few things on your template to make your columns look like mine in terms of the labels, and then we're gonna work together on Wednesday if you had any questions.